Eti whānau, eti, we're going to do a little activity, just to shake out the sillies and all that kind of stuff. When my hands cross, you guys are going to clap. All right, so we're going to practice. If my hands cross, you clap. All right, if you clap when my hands don't cross, e noho. All right, this is our first practice, okay? Here we go. Cool, sweet. All right, now I'm going to trick you guys again. We're going to add another layer to it. When I do this and you clap, you have to sit down. All right, ready? Holy shucks. All right, ready? All right, in the hole. A couple of months ago, I was going for a pretty challenging time, and I started to go back to what was comfortable for me. This is a spray can. I used to do a lot of painting people's fences and buses and trains. Now I'm moved on to canvases. I used to write the word astronomical is where it derived from, because as a young person, I thought I was out of this world. Aiming for the stars always. So this is the word astro. I read it over kind of what my mind was looking like and feeling like at that time. Just as I was about to write the last word, my palm was tired and I smudged one of the words. So in my mind, I kind of like ruined it, face palmed it, and really wanted to get rid of it. So today, I'll be talking about building resilience in our Rangatahi. And I'll be drawing back to the smudge. I thought that energy breaker would get rid of my nerves. Whakalofalai atu, kia matolosi, ko hingoa, ko Nathaniel Hakeagaiki, tēnā koutou, ko au, ko Nathaniel Hakeagaiki tōku ingoa, no niue me Samoa au, ke te noho au ki tawa, e naina, e ngāri, I whānau mai ki Tamaki Makaurau, west side. That's where we're from. This is my village, this is my family. Cool. Only because my nana's there, she's watching me. Anyway, yeah, this is my village. This is the group that supports me. Yeah, it's pretty nice to see them. So for about 15 years, I've been involved with working with young people in different types of capacities too. So I started off as a basketball coach, and started coaching some pretty cool high schools in Auckland, Avondale, Kelston, Auckland Grammar. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And it got to a point where I wanted to change my direction and go work with at-risk rangatahi, which I thought was, you know, because I grew up in the hood, I'll be able to help them get out of it, which was a bit of a challenge. So one of my problems I faced with my youth work was that I was good at connecting. And that's not always a good thing because I was holding space to have a good time with these young people. I was wanting to just take them out of the crap and just bring them into a space where they could just have a good time. The question that sat in my mind is, am I actually doing something positive for these young people? Are they learning? Are they developing? So I started to do some study and research around. So I found a couple of models that I felt supported my whakaaro. So living in the northeast is a phrase that I've picked up over the years because it shows where we should be aiming when we're working with our young people. So when we look at this model, the social discipline window has 4 quadrants, 2 with, not, and 4. I'll go through each segment and explain to you guys what quadrant we should be really aiming towards. So when we do things to young people, and like I said, ourselves as well as adults, when our bosses tell something to us to do, it doesn't always feel great to us. So this is the authoritative approach, where there's the power imbalance. Our young people, their minds are in a heightened state. So if you're coming from a background where people are always just telling you, do this, do that, and I do it myself as a parent, fold the washing, do the dishes, that doesn't feel great because it's not empowering our young people. Moving on to not. So this is the neglectful approach. This is the approach where I thought it was we're just ignoring behavior and we're just carrying on. What it really meant to me was when we're burnt out and we're working with young people who require us to operate at a high frequency, it is so easy for us to just turn a blind eye and accept the behavior. This is not an approach that I wanted to take. So looked at things like supervision, good supervision, finding a good group of people to hang out with, and finding ways to, refill my cup. 4, permissive. This is the just do it anyway because it's easier approach. Coach, can I smoke in class? Oh, sure, because it's easier. That was me ages ago, Just blow it out the window and make sure no one sees, all right? But what am I teaching the young person, There's high support to be permissive, and when they experience boundaries and restriction, they will challenge us. I do that with my kids as well. Oh, just eat that before mum comes. I'm not teaching them anything, but it's an approach that we have when fatigue starts to kick in. And when you do it as a youth worker and you go home, it's even more of a challenge. Doing things with Rangatahi, with young people, this is the approach. When we do things together, like we have done over the last few days, it feels good. It makes us feel great. This is the approach, restorative approach, that we need to do to work with our young people. We're restoring their faith or their relationship with education, restoring the relationship with family, restoring the relationship with friends. When we approach development with this mindset, good things could happen. So, as a team, they can succeed. I'll use a basketball example. I had an authoritative approach when I coached my basketball team. And we had the best team in Auckland. But when it came down to the final quarter and the last minute, I was so authoritative that I squeezed out their creativity. So there was no room for them to catch the ball and create a play for themselves. It was catch the ball, coach, what do I do? I don't know, use your mind, I don't know. So I had to change that approach. And this year when I worked with Mana College, every decision was theirs. I sat with them, I set out a plan, sat down together, and we talked about what does basketball look like. For a team that nobody gave respect, we did really well. It was always the people at the top here that just muck around, the people behind the scenes that screwed us over. Anyway, so when we do things with young people, that's the approach they have. The young people I worked with probably wouldn't celebrate like that. They usually celebrate with some gang signs, whatever. So when you're working with young people who have experienced trauma and this is their second chance to things, living in the Northeast is the approach that we should be looking to take. Now, the model that I used for development was the Circle of Mana. So this is the adaptation of Circle of Courage. This was created or adapted by Lloyd Martin, who lives in Porirua. And he needed a model that helped him create a space for alternative education. I'll just go through the slides. Belonging, for young people to feel like they belong into a space, and a second chance learner, it's important for them to feel like they belong, especially when they're coming back into the classroom. Going back to that with quadrant again, I used to get my young people to recreate what classroom looked like. So of course, the first thing they go to do is remove the boardroom and put all the couches in there and the TVs, and that's what our classroom looked like. It was a cool space. They belonged because they created it. Mastery, I am good at something. And that could be anything. Who can make, I thought you were waving at me, sorry. I was going to wave back. Sorry, Shelley, my bad. Mastery. I am good at something, and this has to be our expectation of what something should be, is not our young people's expectation. So if they make the best mee goreng noodles, that's what they're good at, right? Celebrate that. Celebrate that with them. Independence. I have responsibility. So this is the ability to be able to choose what you want to do, have a say in what you're going to do, be a leader for yourself. And whatever opportunity that I could create for our young people to be leaders, I was doing that. Example, I'll come back to that one. Generosity. I'm able to contribute. Building this is a really important thing for young people. And it could be anything, from time, saying hello, holding the door. That was a big thing for me, because the young people I work with didn't really trust people. So for them to be able to open the door for me, I knew it was a big thing. So I would really acknowledge that. They also, like, even if they give you like sign language and stuff, like all this stuff, that is a way to communicate with them. If they walk into class and I'm going like this, that means it's going to be a good day. You know, so that acknowledging any type of generosity was important for me. So that's how I use these two kind of approaches and a framework when I worked with young people. When the young people would come to our space in alternative education, they usually came with belonging missing, and that affected their independence. So my job as a youth worker in that space was to come up with ways to figure out how we are going to build that belonging, right? A lot of young people come from care homes, so their belonging is already gone, right? And before that, their belonging was already misplaced. So how do I do that? It's through connecting them with whānau, connecting them with good friends, and being a good friend myself. And that then feeds into the independence. We've worked with young people, and we feel that when all these aspects are in place, they start to feel safe, and this gives them the opportunity to learn, to want to learn, and to give learning a try, to give trusting adults a try. Restoring the circle is the important part. This, for me, is what resilience looks like. Equipping our rangatahi with the tools to be able to succeed. Going back to this picture, I went to chuck it away, and my son looked at me and said, "Dad, don't throw it away. Focus on the positives. The smudge is part of the journey." Before I went to bed last night, people often focus on our flaws, our imperfections. Our job as youth workers, kaiako, parents, kaimahi, is to highlight and celebrate the good we do in every other day. Our smudges do not define us. Nami, kia koutou, i te whakarongo, i te kōrero, e nai nei. Main opportunity to be able to get up and share. I actually applied to just come and watch. Next minute I get an email saying, "Can you present?" So, Nami for the opportunity. Thank you guys for listening. Ka kite.